So today I'm talking about a Kia with the P0131 code, what it is and how you go about fixing it. So what is a Kia P0131 code? Well, it's an O2 sensor, low voltage bank 1 sensor 1. And what does this mean? Well, the onboard computer uses sensors located on the exhaust to know how much oxygen's been burnt off inside of the engine, and it's seen a problem with one of these. So you have to be troubleshooting to know why. And bank 1 is always the side of the engine with the number 1 cylinder, and sensor 1 is always the first sensor going down on that bank. If you have a 4-cylinder engine, there's only going to be 1 bank, but like a V6 would have 2 banks. And possible causes of a Kia P0131 code, well, it could be a bad oxygen sensor, there could be something wrong with the wiring, like an open or short, the harness connection might be bad, and possibly a blown fuse. And so the first thing to do when you get this code, go locate the bank 1, sensor 1 oxygen sensor. And the basics of what's going on with the oxygen sensor is that there can be multiple ones. Quite often there's 2. And the sensor 1 is also called the upstream oxygen sensor. It'll be located before the catalytic converter. And sensor 2 will be located after the catalytic converter or right on it sometimes. And so the first thing you want to do is go locate this bank 1, sensor 1 oxygen sensor. And on many Kias, it's located up inside the engine compartment. If you pop the hood and you look down, it'll be right there. And the sensor 2 will be located down farther. So like in this example, this is a 2015 Kia Optima, and this is bank 1, sensor 1. When you pop the hood, you go up against the firewall on the exhaust, and the sensor 1 will be right there. Sensor 2 will be up and underneath. So sensor 1's up here, sensor 2 is down here after the catalytic converter. But again, there can be multiple sensors. So you want to either Google it or go and look and see, because there can be different setups when it comes to the sensors. But the main sensor to go and locate is going to be this bank 1, sensor 1 oxygen sensor. And so once you locate it, check out the wiring. Be sure it's plugged in good. Be sure there's no issues going on there. And just be aware that an open or a short can cause the same issues as a bad sensor. And so that's something to keep in mind. And another thing to keep in mind is this is also on a fuse. And so like here, this is an example of a 2013 Kia Optima. And as you can see right here, you got a fuse. This is inside of the engine compartment. There'll be a fuse box. And like in this example, it's saying downstream O2 sensor and upstream O2 sensor is sensor 1, which is right over here. Sometimes it could be a little more vague and be harder to find, but there is a fuse inside of there that'll control this. So especially if you're not getting no power to the circuit, then this will be definitely something to keep in mind. And so if you check out that wiring and it all looks good, no open shorts or anything like this, you don't got any blown fuses, then very likely the sensor has gone bad and simply needs to be replaced. And you can test it if you wanted to be sure. There's some different ways you go about doing that. There's some good YouTube videos on that if you want to test it. Most people would just go ahead and replace it since it is a low-cost part. I'll jump over on Amazon just to give you an idea how much they're going for and what they look like. They're ranging around 25, 22. This is for 2 of them, so this is both the upstream and the downstream. And one right here, you have one for 39. So they're not super high-cost parts or nothing. And another thing is that when you go to remove these, is that they can require a special tool to remove. Sometimes you could get them out, mainly the downstream one, you don't need the tool, but for the upstream one, you almost need this tool. So since you have the wire on there, when you go to put it back in, it's down inside this small groove or hole right here. So you almost do need this special tool. So when you go to order one or you go to the auto parts store to get one, you might want to get this special tool at the same time to make the job easier. And so that's basically it. I just want to give a real quick brief overview of how you go about fixing a Kia with the P0131 code. If you have any questions, ask me down below. If you have anything to add, please comment down below. If this video helps you, please click like, please click subscribe, and have a good day.